Okay, guys, what's going on? Welcome to episode 9 of AuraPharm. We are back. We have another special guest today. Today we have the Buckness. Woo! So please give everybody a round of applause.
Give everybody a round of applause.
Yeah. We also are in here with our executive producer, Angel, and our co-host, Vega.
Hola.
Angel's husband, if you guys didn't know. Now, we are super excited because we just actually got back from Sonic Summer last night, where the Buckness played. We got to watch him go ham, and we also had a couple interviews that will probably release maybe in the next week or so. Some extra behind the scenes footage, some green room stuff. You guys will probably get to see how a green room actually looks and actually thrives in the middle of a set, and also see the energy that he came off when he came off the set, because as everybody knows, you know, you got a different type of energy when you get off of a set. All the adrenaline's pumping, and you know, it's super exciting to have gotten you in that moment. You're literally yourself times 100, you know, and it was super cool to see that. But now, how as far as Sonic Summer, how did you feel about your set? How did you feel about the whole day? How was your journey in it and out?
That was fun, man. Honestly, dude, shout out to the 559, dude. You guys get wild down here. One, and two, yeah. I mean, honestly, the venue was great. It was fucking beautiful venue, man. I mean, the grass is all manicured. It's outdoors. You know, there was space to move around and stuff, and it was multi stages, multi genre.
Oh, you had fire.
We had fire on our stage,
Yeah,
dude.
he used it all before I could.
No.
Apparently, I used all the gas before the.
Was it a pedal on the floor? Or
There was a pedal. There was a pedal on the floor, and who knows? You know, I didn't know really what we were allotted to, how much would have ran out, and what. But anyhow, sorry, Vega. Yeah. But yeah, everything leading up to the set, man, I was super nervous. I'm practicing over at Jacob's house, and I'm like freaking out in my head, like, dude, I haven't played in a year, man, and I took a break, and I don't know what I'm gonna be doing. I feel so rusty in this, and it really felt like that. It was kind of like I almost had forgotten like how some of my tracks went, and like how I transitioned from track to track, and how to like maintain a certain energy. And like in my head, I just was kind of all over the place, and really, when it's kind of mentioned to me before. My buddy Jay say was like, dude, you just got to figure out the first 3 tracks, and then like the rest will kind of solve itself out. And so like, and that's really helped me over a lot of the times that I was like, okay, you know what? Like, I've just got to read the room, because I've planned out whole entire sets, and like it turns out to really kind of not meet what the dance floor is really asking for.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then kind of came to the moment. Yeah, I'm really stoked on how the recent tracks that I had finished sounded on stage, the reactions I got from the people in the crowd. So I had fun, man. So yeah.
So I know, yeah, you were all panicking before. Did you mess up?
No, I didn't actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I actually was like, okay, like I didn't know while I was practicing. Well, while I was practicing, I thought that like I was going to mix in parts that just didn't make sense, but yeah, for some reason things kind of seemed to work itself out. In fact, that was like one of my better sets that I've played in prior times anyway. So overall, yeah, I'll give myself a 9 out of 10. So
No, that's exciting, and it's really cool because your set was about 95% all of your original music as
Yes.
well. Which I think when you're starting to create a set, even when you're playing other people's music and starting to create the first three tracks like you're talking about to get your set going, it's still pretty difficult. Let alone doing it for your own songs and then having that extra pressure of like, is it gonna hit? Is it not? Like, it takes a lot of balls to do what you did.
Yeah.
And I think that's really fucking cool, bro. So
Thank you.
I got very inspired by your set where it's like, nah, I think it's time too for a lot of people that are producers as well. Just fucking send it, bro. Like,
yeah, a lot of guys out there, I think, that are at least at this point. I mean, I've seen people that are playing out and that have been producing for years and years and years, and probably have a good couple of hours of music, you know, easily. And what I kind of wished a little more, and sure, I guess this can kind of go with like the other side of the sword of what the dance floor is asking for, but like when I hear other professional sets that I know are producers that throw in like 30% of their own tracks and then a bunch of other popular tracks that they think other people will like, that they think will be more relatable. Kind of throws me as a just diehard producer a little bit off.
Piss me off.
Oh, does it?
Well, like when I go to see someone and I want to hear their music, and I
Yeah.
go to see them because I like like I want to hear these songs by them. If I wanted to hear all of these other songs, I'd go to main stage.
Right.
Fair.
Yeah. And like, and even that's a good point, because even main stage guys, they do the same thing, right? I mean, they'll play one or two of their recent hits or like one of their throwbacks. And
Bro, we saw Knife Party at Ultra and they played one original.
really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that just feels weird to me. Like, I'll support like a friend's track or something like that if they're not playing, or if like I'm really digging like one of my homies' tracks, then I'll definitely throw that in there. But for the most part, I really just like to showcase what I produce. And I think after just the 15 years of doing this, I'm still playing out tracks that are 7 years old, 8 years old, and they still hit. So like, yeah, I mean, it just seems to work out. And then, I mean, 90% of the time, the tracks sound better live than they do like in the studio. And not most people obviously aren't listening to a live PA in their bedroom. So like, certainly the quality kind of is a little more discernible when you're listening on a common system. But like when it's live, it's like you're hearing mostly kick drum and amplification, systems. So yeah.
And you said you want to showcase what you reproduce. So I'll be doing October 22nd, when our child's born.
Yeah. Speaking of reproducing, yeah.
Anyways, but yeah. So then I don't know the Dr. Phil track.
That song was fire at the end.
Oh my god, yeah.
Is that your vocals at some point too?
No,
or just straight Dr. Phil and everything was also sampled off of
So
it?
there's
okay.
Yeah.
So there's a comedian, Adam Ray. He does a Dr. Phil live. Kind of, dude. That guy's a Jedi, dude. I don't know how he comes up with the things he does, man. That guy is
You need to send
phenomenal.
that to him.
I will
Honestly.
actually.
You would probably love that.
Yeah.
I actually went to his
And he
show.
responds to people.
That's what I hear. Yeah, because I went to his show a few weeks ago, and he did his Adam Ray stand up, and I was hoping to finish it by that weekend so I could wait in line and pass him a USB. But the track wasn't done yet. I had finished it a weekend later, and so yes, I will be sending that to him. But that is indeed the Dr. Phil live, fully sampled in a 200 BPM hardcore track, and it's ridiculous. So yeah, I'm super
It was a
pumped on it.
mindfuck of a song. I liked it.
Dude, it's meme core to the fullest, man. But it slaps, man. It rages.
What is this?
And that's why I was like, I wonder if people are actually gonna recognize this. And it was like the very last song of the night. So all 15 people that got to listen to it, there was like one, and I think Joe recognized it. Yes, we'll be right back. Yeah.
It's like a if you know type of thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. And that's what I was kind of hoping for. And that's what I think like will happen. There's going to be like 90% of the people are just going to be lost in whatever kick drum comes next. And there's going to be like one raging dude that's just like, oh my God, Dr. Phil, dude. That's the guy I'm looking for.
Dude, it'd be funny though. Can you imagine if that song got popular and then people start going as Dr. Phil to your shows?
Dude, oh my God, that'd be wicked.
The bald cap.
Or at least let me see one Be Right Back shirt, dude.
Huh?
Like Pitbull?
Yeah, like Pitbull.
Pitbull?
No, Pitbull.
Pitbull, like the
Like
Mr. Worldwide?
Mr. Worldwide.
We harmonize that.
Hey, everybody knew it though.
Okay, so then since you've played in like, or you've like, yeah. So you've played a lot in the Bay,
Mm-hmm.
and then Hawaii,
Yes.
and then Fresno.
Yes.
So what is like a noticeable difference between all of them in terms of like the scene or like how crowds are, I guess, or
Well, it's even just to stick with I'm going to talk about the California stuff right now. So like from the Bay Area to Fresno to LA, I've gotten a little bit of a taste of each. I haven't been to anything in San Diego yet, but I will say that what I notice is that like no matter where you go, like the hard dance fans, they're there for the hard dance, and because it's such a like specialized genre in a way, it's like it's a acquired taste, and yeah, the people that are there for the hard dance are still kind of carry that same energy. And like I remember even when I had played for Zach Garnes in Virginia that one time, it's like everyone was there for the hard dance, dude. And you kind of just feel and know that they're there for that. I will say that crowd definitely seemed of like more of an old school reverse bass, fat pants, put baby powder on the floor to shuffle kind of crowd. So it was kind of cool. But I noticed like out here, it's like there's a lot of raw fans. There's a lot of harder, more aggressive seeming sounding fans. And you just kind of tell by the way they react to when certain songs are played. Like in shows in the city, or in the Bay Area, and even LA, I noticed that the raw crowd stands out a little more because when I hear a reverse bass track, that's when I get nuts. And I notice when raw tracks are played, like when there's a certain crowd of people that get more wild, you know what I mean? So I guess whether it's when you get in, how you've been exposed to it, and from even when I talk to people in the crowd, for the most part, um, I've asked like, "Hey, how long have you been in the hard dance for?" And it's usually like a 3 to 5 year range.
It's been popping.
Yeah. So that, I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed that or asked people that kind of same question, like, "Hey, how long have you been listening?" You'll get a handful of people that have been around since like the early classic Headhunters 2008 sound, and even
Yeah, or even on like Instagram, there will be like a clip of someone playing like Rock Civilization by Headhunters, and then someone's in the comments, "What's the song ID?"
To your point about the reverse bass, I feel like the people who have been around longer, reverse bass is like what makes us go crazy. Like that's what I love too. And I've noticed the younger people, like the people who've only been in it like for a little bit, and also like the like people who are like 21, like that, they like the hard, like really like uh yeah, like the harder stuff.
the more aggressive stuff,
Yeah, like
right?
the aggressive, yeah,
uh-huh.
like or like Trons and stuff like that, and just like going all like the different like kind of hard techno-y sounds, like fast. They just want it fast, and like some of that stuff like sounds kind of like similar, I'd say, but like they just want to hear it like go hard.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like interesting too. Like when there's like even hardcore mix shows or hardcore artists on a hard style lineup, like Wasteland, for example, where there's a one or two hardcore acts at the end, um, where you see people kind of like diverting their energy when certain things happen within the music, you know? Um, yeah, I mean, I guess coming from just that same earlier baby powder on the floor shuffling crowd, that's kind of where my heart lies with what is sits in my own interest. And then also like just being a studio guy, like when I hear like nuts sound design in a track, like I'm paying attention to that a little more. And I don't really usually notice people that are like listening in or paying attention to certain stuff like that as nearly as often. And certainly I think that just takes like that exposure or experience or that like, oh, in a way, yes, right. Uh-huh. Yeah. So terms of differences overall, uh kind of hard to say. It really is. I mean, it seems like a lot more people have been around for 3 to at this point 6 or 7 years. You know, we use when BassCon took over EDC ish as an example. So that was what, 2015, 2013. Okay. Q Dance came for a year, and then yeah, no, 13 years, and then as things started to get rawer, and then BassCon started throwing their own big shows. That's
Rawr.
the slow crawl, dude.
Oh man.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to really say, you know. And I think we were mentioning yesterday too of like, yeah, of your. I think it was you that was mentioning about the younger crowd and or them coming in, and like it really kind of. Maybe I'm just beating over this topic a little bit, but like as newer people come in, that's the thing that they're gonna love, and that's like their point of reference of like what is good to them.
Cook on this one, because actually you made a really great point about this that I do love, as far as like the new kids coming in and the change and their point of like, that's what it was, the point of reference. How they enter in compared to how when we entered in is completely different. We are in this world while they're in this world essentially, and sometimes we might think like, oh shit, our shit's dead and we're dead, but in reality somebody else is actually having a peak in their like experience in the scene as a fan, right? I think, is that what we were saying?
That's a great way to word it. Yes.
Yeah, because a lot of people, their peak stuff right now is like Sub-Zero project from a few years ago, and I'm like, bro, like it's just like so much good music.
Or some people's peak is like Keizo, you know, based on it's based on their own experience.
Yeah.
True, right?
And you can't
know?
really knock it because I mean that's their perspective. That's what they've experienced, and it's different. Also, I feel like sometimes, especially now becoming an unk, like we can't forget the rebellious people we were at that age. Like they're also rebelling to whatever else is poppin', probably, which is what we probably think is poppin', which they had to have the counterculture so they could have their own identity. I feel like that's a little part of it as well, where it's like they're coming in and they want their own identity, they want their own shit, and it might be the stuff that nobody's gravitating towards anymore, which happens to be raw or all these other things that you guys are talking about. You know, how do you guys think about that?
I haven't talked. You know what? It's like you kind of have to go in and really kind of talk to people to really to feel that out. You know?
Yeah, I'm excited to talk to some of the younger guys and having them in here to get some of that stuff. And
yeah,
talk about it,
dude. Yeah, the newer younger artists in their 20s still kind of deal. It's like you guys are what 30s now,
I am
late
34.
20s?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, 34, and
I'm still 24.
you don't look a day over 18, baby. Yeah. Yeah, so we're in our 30s. I'm 35, and yeah, I'm like you know what? I mean, even come to think of it, I don't really know if I've actually really gotten the young, like a person in their 20s, mid 20s, let's say even 23, 24, because that's when I feel like I started to kind of get
Same.
a little more exposed in a more solidified fashion, even on the production side, to then like get out there and stuff. And I wasn't talking to 30 or 35-year-olds at the time, you know, and so yeah, I'm curious to even get where they're and again, like circling back to like their reference point of when they came in, what made them fall in love with it, and they're like, oh my god. I was talking to what's his name last night?
Markor?
No,
A day search?
no, the dude that came with that came with
Black Effects? Inner Demons?
Inner Demons. And yeah, he was mentioning that like he was doing a couple other genres before that and like was doing well, and then like kind of got over it, and then like I asked him what got you into hard dance. He's like, a few years ago fucking I heard a little Texas track, and so like I'm like, okay, you know, so like everybody has their like own, and he said he fell in love with it, so like everybody just really has whatever kind of weird natural gravitation, and it all kind of brings them to the same current place, you know.
And I think if it takes some months, but most people like years to kind of elevate their palette, if you will.
Yes,
you know,
that's a good yeah. Yeah.
Because even and I gotta say, for all the youngins, like it's super cool seeing you guys be into techno and all these other things that for us it took so long to kind of actually get that taste. You know, now I feel like they're actually getting it a lot faster too, where they're open to, you know, new genres as well than just like what they actually just stick to. And I think that that's cool, because I think I was telling Mike this, when I first started, like techno was like a bad word, and like nobody wanted to be a part of going to anything with techno or tech in it, you know. But nowadays it's kind of fine. Okay, I will say yesterday there was some shit playing that was hardcore, because I asked somebody near me. I like hardcore.
What? Oh yeah. When Markor was playing, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's more like gabber techno, because it's not like it's a 160, so it's not as fast as regular hardcore. So that's where the subgenres come in, because it's like the sounds of hardcore, just a little bit slower and more like in the fashion of techno.
And different style kick drums, different style arrangements, and how it's
like the arrangement
put together as a whole.
The arrangement is more of techno, but the sounds are more of like.
That's a great way to explain it to my producer mind. I get y'all now.
Yeah.
That makes sense why I like it.
Because like I would say one thing with hardstyle and hardcore, which I think is why it was hard to catch on, is because there's like a lot of breaks in older tracks, so it's like kind of boring on a dance floor, because you're standing there for 2 minutes while there's just a vocal and a lead going, and like you're like, okay. But then now it's when they do it in the form of techno, then you have a kick going for a minute long.
It allows you to at least move a little bit, so you're not still.
Exactly.
But that's the way early hardstyle was kind of produced too. Was longer intros, longer mid intros, breakdowns.
Which goes back into what you guys were saying, which is like the new shit is really just old school hardstyle.
Yeah.
But now it's called.
But it's just updated and new techniques. And like new sounds.
What'd you call it? Hi-hat hardstyle?
Yeah, it's just hardstyle with hi-hats.
It's hella funny.
And you know, I guess even on the other side of like what we think is our reference point and where we fall in love with, it's like it's interesting for me to notice my resistance to some of the newer stuff because like for years I couldn't stand like hard kicks, dong dong dong, and then it started to kind of become, at least to my mind, something I don't know. There's always got to be a song or something that just finally hits, and it's like, okay, now I kind of start to like it now.
Yeah.
Now I start to get it. Now I can appreciate the rest of it a little bit more.
That was me at DEF CON 2024 when I heard like the newer kind of rock kicks on main stage. And I'm like, I felt like I was almost like, damn, they're right. It hits. Yeah, but it's really the setting. It just, if you hear it in your car or like on regular speakers and you're not in the environment.
That's true.
Like how do you feel about like hard techno where it is, or like how it sounds? Because I know you're more of a house. Like
I
your
like
honest
it.
opinion of where it's at like now. Like what do you think of it?
I like it.
Really?
Yeah, I do enjoy it. Like even going to the sets yesterday at the stage, like I caught myself half the time. I'm like, yeah, what is this? I like this. What is this? I like this, you know? And if I wasn't exposed to it, I really wouldn't know even how to find it. But I mean, for me, it's a lot of the sounds that are essentially close to the shit that I like. So dark, heavy, and then especially with the hi-hats, like I mean, I love drums. So that adds that extra flavor for me on the top end, which I need because I can't just have the too dark shit for me for too long, especially if there's no melody, you know? Like I need some balance.
That's where I like it. I like when it has like those like just a lot of like groovy drums and stuff like that. And
You know what's crazy though is that I feel you on what you were saying a second ago because for me, I used to hate screeches and shit. Let me tell you,
Yeah.
when they're sprinkled in there, it actually is fucking fire.
Right.
Sometimes you need that sound to come through and just clean the palate real quick.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It is interesting how that works, man. Sometimes it's got to be just edged in there, you know?
And it depends. It's a very like you can use them in a lot of different ways, and there's like a lot of different sounds to a screech. Okay, so do you have a Stream Deck?
Do I have a Stream Deck? What's that?
Oh. You know what?
Wait, is that the thing that you I've seen on your page?
So for the last year, I've been asking people, "Hey, do you know what a Stream Deck is?" And 98% of them are like, "No, what is that?" So the Stream Deck kind of got popular during COVID, and it's all it is just a button pad, and it connects to your computer USB, and gamers use it to fucking pull up their cameras and switch between little bubbles that pop up on their screens. Like in the live stream world, it got really, really popular because all it did was turn it basically pulls up macros. It's
almost like being able to do everything manually.
It's a macro controller.
It's like hawk cues.
Yes. So it's
okay.
and they're powerful because you can have them basically do almost anything within your computer system, whether it's like system based and volume based or like swapping between screens, you can launch applications with it. You could bust out chat bubbles. You can pop up, different feeds. You can switch from like your picture in picture, camera and game to just your gameplay. And so basically it was almost like a broadcast switching solution for home PC guys users. Yeah.
Okay.
Were you trying to segue into that? Just
Yeah.
By the way. Yeah. Okay. Let me get into the mastering stuff first, and then I'll naturally segue into that.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just didn't know where to go. So
No, totally. In terms of the music modern day, I'll just tap the whole where music was with hard dance before and like how it's continually evolving. It's like the sonic integrity and like the sonic push that like from the loudness wars to the dynamics and like also, I mean, fucking mixes are just so much louder nowadays.
You were talking about that, right? When I was playing like current reverse bass, and then you were saying
you were showing me a Coon track, and I'm like, okay, this thing sounds like way bigger and way heavier and way more forward to like match what raw sounds like, because like raw, if you look at it under meters and like under scopes and stuff like that, that shit is like through the roof loud. Like I don't know if you notice in your car where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm only at volume 16 and this thing is like raging loud, and then you put on a Taylor Swift track and then you gotta go to 22.
Gotta go max.
Yeah, and like so over the recent years, like I've kind of dove into the engineering side a lot more. It just suits my fancy. I love building rooms. I love the idea of processing audio. So the engineering side of things is like, as I like, because I like mastering my own stuff. People say don't do it, but like I want to run it through Gear, and I don't give a fuck what you guys think. So and honestly, it sounds great. I think it sounds great. Every time I've passed my track sales to someone else, I've been disappointed. So it also helps me learn like how to get like to that next or even a further stage to kind of upkeep with like the standards, if you will, of what especially hard dance music in like and the mastering phase for that, and before it gets finally distributed, and like how loud and can you really push it. And that takes a lot of really know-how in the mix and where to cut.
A lot of small details in every little sound, every little tweak, every single fragment of the track needs to be curated and looked after, because every single little peak will fuck you up at the end.
Yes. And like these tools, these same exact tools have existed 10 years ago where the sounds were not as heavy. You could have done this perfectly fine in 2016 and 2010. The same way things are being done now. But just the process and approach has just evolved a little more to kind of take advantage of like the psychoacoustics of human hearing perception. Because if you're going through like a charts list and like a top 10 or a top 20, and all of a sudden like, holy shit, that track is like standing out a little more. It's almost like perceptively better in some cases, if you will. Or it's just going to stand out more where they might grab you for another couple of seconds of attention. So like that over trying to understand how that is possible is has kind of really drawn my attention over recent years. And I feel like that, of course, with plugins getting better, the amount of information that's available, it certainly does help. I mean, from getting your mix loud from the get-go before anything is even touched on the master bus, to then finally being like, okay, can I make decisions, once this mix is finally done? And also some people just mix straight into limiters too. So there's also that. Also, when you're mixing into a limiter and you have raw and aggressive sounds and overly distorted by taste, going into a piece of software that by nature is going to add harmonics, add distortion, take away and add it's going to add something to it. I mean, I'm talking artifacts. There we go. That's the word. Yeah. But you know what? Nobody really perceives it because it's already it becomes part of the mix.
Yeah. Sometimes if you don't have those, it actually thins out your sounds, or it fucks up your actual sonic feeling that you're trying to get to.
Say that again?
Like sometimes if you don't have those artifacts, your sounds or the full picture of your track doesn't sound full, So, which is weird because there has to be a balance where you have some artifacts, but you also don't go too far, because then we start over processing. You hear that shit pop out.
Well, I was gonna I feel like a good example is some of the old songs, like say like an old dubstep song, and then if they remake it, or like hardstyle, like it loses. They'll remake it, and it's so clean that it's almost it loses something.
I feel like it loses its character, because essentially, even when we're beefing up sounds or anything, we're, like you said, we're adding harmonics, we're adding these things. Sometimes you shouldn't, you be mindful of it, but most of the time what you're doing is you're adding the fullness within the sound or the track. And I mean, at least for me, in my opinion, the best tracks are full. They don't sound like no energy, or like there's spots that could be filled, if you will.
Well, I think I'm finding that if your tracks are 90% in mono, I mean, a lot of the times, and if it sounds good in mono and you have stereo reverb and stereo effects and some synths that are wide, you might not even notice that it's in mono, that it's fully mixed in mono. In other genres that I've heard, like drum and bass, I'm like, oh my God, like, and I listen to the sides only. I'm like, dude, like all of these sounds are in the center and this track is amazing. But with hard dance, because the kick is so centered, the synths are a lot of the times wide, you kind of need that center space to give the sides room, and you kind of need the side space away from the kick and like the distorted tail and stuff like that to make room for the sides.
So
and
you
like,
guys in your tracks, as apart from filling out the space, you guys actually, which I completely understand too, because you need to have space to open up the space in itself, which is such a weird concept to even say right now. But it seems like for hard stuff, you have to actually have no elements going in certain places so you can let the other sounds that are wide.
It's basically
right?
big mono. That's what it is. You're not really having a stereo image per se, because if you think of like a band where like you have your drum kit, you have your guitars, you have your backing guitars, you have your bass, you have then your vocal, you have backing vocals, they're all creating an image in like a perceptually 3D kind of space. And if you look at basically all EDM, it's center, little wide, bigger wide kind of deal, and even if traditional instruments or real instruments are being brought in the mix, a lot of it the same kind of thing. It's either in center-ish, and wide and ultra wide. So so like it's just a different scape of space that you're playing with, and then tie that with like the frequency spectrum of each of those of those pieces, right? And even, I mean, from lead drops to like the breakdowns and stuff like that, where things are localized, kind of does play as a whole for how it, how the whole space is taken and how the energy is perceived. But most sound systems are for live PA are done in mono anyway because of the headroom you can gain at the amplification stage. So, if you are doing a stereo big PA, you're going to, in fact, I remember hearing some tracks at EDC where like songs that I knew that had panning effects, and you'd hear it just tremolo instead of like
actually panning fully.
Instead of panning, because that's what it's doing. It's still panning, but they're only getting one side. So, and that's to relieve headroom for the rest of the audio system.
Yeah.
So, it's a trip. So, I mean, but then again, circling back, 95% of people are not listening to PA on fucking, in their rooms.
And that's the other thing. I feel like as a producer, you're good. I think as a producer, it like really throws me off too, where I have to like mentally think about it, because we can get deep into like the nerd part of the production, but half of the time we go out there and half the people actually don't give a fuck about half the things that we're putting on there. They like the song, they like it. They won't even think about that little shit that you're thinking about for a week. Right. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. And it's good for us though, because it kind of relieves a lot of the pressure of like having to be perfect, but it's hard when our producer brains are like, no, we need to get this here. We know where this is at. We know like the logical part of that shit kind of.
You gotta sound good on this. Yeah. That's what you gotta sound good on.
Yeah, I try that. I was gonna say that on the other side though, I've definitely been like, you know what? I'm being too tough on it. Let me play it, and then I'll play it, and I'm like, I shouldn't have played
it. Really?
Like, well, like, just like, oh, like, it was like, I don't know.
I've had that too, and
we'll turn it up on the mixer and like, make it manageable, but I'm just like,
but you just know it doesn't hit like you wanted to.
Yeah, I'm like, quick mix up, like single drop. I'm not playing the song out.
And that's why we need to have those moments too, though, and sneak that shit in there to feel it, and then know what to do when you go back to the studio.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, don't be afraid to play your tracks, guys. I feel like I've told so many people at this point too, like, there's a lot of artists that like have tracks or IDs and like they're too afraid to play them, and it's like, no, you got to, whether it's good or not, it's gonna help you on that journey, whether to release it or to fix it.
And if you need fixing, hit me up. Oh, yeah. Yes.
You guys know the Buckness.
I was gonna say I don't think the Buckness needs any help with playing his tracks. He does a lot of that.
Yeah, I mean, but I still always need have work to do. I'm not, there's still guys out there. I'm like, how the fuck are you guys doing this? This is crazy.
I will say though, every kick hits.
Dude, when I listen to like D Block and Estefan stuff, like or Warface's stuff I listen to them, I watch them see their stuff in a scope and meters, and then hear what's going on. It's crazy how they get to that point. So anyhow, that's why the engineering side is so valuable to me. And
No, I'm glad you talked about it. I don't think we've had anybody really go deep into that, and I mean, I can geek out on this type of stuff.
Honestly, yeah, he freaking goes over my head with shit.
Oh really? Oh cool. Oh yeah, I'm gonna bug you for.
No, I'm saying you go over my head with shit.
Oh
Yeah.
I see.
I went to Icon for like a year, and it really opened up my eyes to a lot of the stuff as far as mixing and like the best way I could explain it, to create a real product that can compete in the market. It is not as easy as just shitting fucking tracks and not thinking about the mixing and mastering part. And the mastering part, it's like you said, you can send that in, you can kind of like cheat your way as long as you do the mixing right. But the problem is everybody's kind of cheating where they're not even putting the proper time into the mixing. And you can kind of tell. And if you don't get those skills, it makes it very difficult for you to really have that product when you're trying to compete with, let's say, I'm going to send this track out to these record labels. Like, do I personally think my tracks are really going to make it there if they're not up to par at the very least with minimal mixing skills that you need to add, or understanding like the frequency spectrum where you need to play shit? Like a lot of people just throw shit on there, don't think about that, call it a day, send it into mastering or use isotope and then move on. But it's like if you really want to be professional, if you really want to get to the point like you're talking about, you're studying these guys, you got to do what those guys are doing.
And it depends on your market too. I mean, a good example is the hard techno scene versus like some hard. Okay, the hard. I shouldn't say the techno scene as a whole, but if you look at, let's look at it as a whole. Yeah. There's so much different sonic qualities from so many various artists that you can tell like is a really polished mix. There's some tracks where you're like, oh my god, this thing was fucking mixed on a fucking, I mean, in a garbage can. But
and some of the songs still are number one tracks.
And some of those songs are number one tracks, number two tracks, top playing. They're fucking performing, and they're getting shows, and they're getting bookings, and they're laughing at us. So
I feel like the reality for me though is that most of those people either got connections or got somewhat lucky, because nowadays the entry point for us to even just get into these doors, you have to have a full product and you have to outbeat those guys too. Yeah. And if you do not focus on the mixing and mastering part to really understand your craft, first of all, are you really an artist?
Yeah.
I think because you're not a mixing engineer.
Yeah, and I mean,
I guess my argument would be
you're a producer.
I would say yes for me. This is why I would disagree. There's too many artists nowadays that are almost to the full package that it's almost a disrespect to them to be like, yeah, those guys are artists too, when they're not doing the bare minimum to actually give you a product.
No, I mean, artist is a different word though.
It's a good combo.
I don't know, because like an artist could just be someone that like takes pictures. Like,
yeah, but I feel like in the lane that we're in, we do understand what we mean by artists, and we talk about artists that are like doing the work.
Well, let's even look at it from a musicianship perspective, right? Like,
but like that's like what's like the word, or what are we gonna say?
I mean, for a producer, a music producer in the electronic music scene that is good at writing, good at arranging, but okay at mixing, but like they have a solid sounding thing. I mean, okay, I guess to some extent, yes, I agree with you in terms of like, okay, you kind of do have to have a finish polished thing to finer polished enough piece, because then it's going to be perceptually not enjoyable. So like, yeah, it's got to be, to par, to industry standard, but it doesn't have to be like George Massenburg fucking level or Chris Lord Algae level kind of mixing and kind of deal. If you're 75% there, 80% there with an excellent arrangement and like something that's really catchy and that's got cool elements going on and that really kind of thinks about, transitioning through tracks, cool ideas in the track as a whole, versus like a 90%, 95% sonic quality mix that like the song is boring, you know?
That's fair, yeah. I guess like what I was kind of speaking more towards is like for us artists and producers that are like trying to make a career, we're sending tracks into record labels and stuff. How do we stand out if we just do 75% and expect to outbeat somebody else that's doing the actual 90%? At the very least, to just understand sonic education.
Yes.
Because that's my issue, is that most people don't even do half the level of the work that we've done to understand the fucking spectrum, to understand what to bare minimum do when it comes to these things that I feel like if you are going into trying to sell yourself, how do I tell the other younger kids like, yeah, it's okay to do like less work, and it's okay when the market's very hard to get in and you're competing with other songs that they're gonna look at your song and be like, well, this one's mixed shittier than this one, I'm gonna go here. And all it takes is just one little tweak that you didn't give a fuck about.
Well, at that point, why don't you just let the market decide?
Well, the market's not deciding at that point. Is these record labels that you're competing with all these other tracks that are also coming in, and what you're gonna end up competing with is which one sounds better off the bat from somebody that's trained. It's like if I'm saying it to him, he knows what's up. He's going to go through them real quick and know which ones are shit and which ones are not. And he's most likely going to choose the ones that sonically sound best to his ears.
The real answer is that you have to have the more viral videos.
That's actually 100% true. Because you could have this shitty shit like we talked about earlier, and that's why those people hit it, because they found a way to just go viral, which is not a bad thing, right? Some of these people can actually even get help and make their songs better afterwards, which is fucking cool, because not everybody has the resources. But if we're going into it like a artist and like we know our shit to an extent, I feel like that's where I feel like some of us fall short. Where I, going through Icon, when I realized the amount of work that it takes to actually send these in for these guys to actually listen to your shit, that's when it opened up my eyes to like, oh man, like I need to take this a little bit more serious into the details that I'm putting in, into everything, because I'm competing against a whole bunch of other people that may even have more resources than me, and their songs are clearer than mine. Now, whether they hit better than mine, that's subjective. But I know my mission is to make my shit as best as I can. Or if we're dealing with the loudness wars, to bring it back full circle, you're gonna have to learn how to make it clear to push it that fucking far. Because if you don't know the skills, you're not gonna make a fucking track go from -8 decibels to like -6 or -5.
What are you talking about?
As far as like mixing your track and getting to the level of a professional.
Are you talking about a loudness level?
Yes.
I see. Okay.
So in that sense, you have to know those skills in order to, at the very least, compete with everybody else that you're trying to create a career off, or not off of, but like by yourself competing with everybody else. And I think for me, it gave me a big, almost imposter syndrome. And I started realizing like, oh, I've been putting in the work. I continue to put in the work. I continue to stay educated. But it is a slippery slope where if you do get some easier opportunities, you can kind of like cheat out on that part and get exposed with other producers when you get into a room with people that know their shit. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be able to have this conversation right now with you if I didn't put in the work there, and I would be sitting here like...
No, it is all... it is all of that, and I think that will take, the artist further if they so choose to continually educate themselves and better their skill set and kind of go towards that route versus like... Well, I don't want to say versus, but... Because each person, there could be multiple paths to multiple ways to get from A to Z. Yes, and whether it's formula finding, like, hey, this works, I'm just gonna stick with this route, and like this is the path that like is making me happy because it's getting me to X, Y, or Z. Shit, there was something else I was gonna mention that you had touched on that I completely damn. We'll find it back.
A full package icon. Artist, being an artist, an engineer.
I feel like nowadays I just have to, if I'm gonna call you an artist, I gotta see you put in the artist work. And to me, the artists that I see putting in the work, even if they're not big famous, they're putting in a lot of work, a lot. And we're so saturated right now where, I don't know, I gotta call it how it is.
I feel like too, like, because you are an artist and you are one of those people who takes that so seriously, I feel like there's different levels of how, like, what people take serious. Like, some people are more creative. Some people like to make stuff, just like try to get it together, send it off to somebody else, help them out, put it out. It just depends on what you're stronger in. And like, I think because that it means so much to you, that's why you admire it more. And like, it is an admirable thing to do.
Well, it's hard also when I went to school with people that are in the industry that are telling me and teaching me like, hey, this is what we're looking for, this is what we're not. And then you're starting to realize like, damn, even the work that I'm putting in is not enough, But
then you look at something like a G6,
like a what?
Like a G6, like that was like so minimally produced and it was like a #1 hit. So I'm just saying.
I don't know, because if we go through the G6 stuff, we go back to Diplo and what?
That's casual.
Who was their really?
Yeah.
What was the song I was thinking about? Isn't the girl that sang on it was
That's
Diplo's lady, right?
No, it's Dev. I don't mean not that I know of.
Damn, what song am I confusing with like a G6? There's a song that I know, Diplo and his old baby mama, which is one of the girls that I thought it was her. And he actually
Paper
did
Planes?
this song. That's the one.
Okay.
That's the one. Yeah, okay.
Like a G6.
I don't know. With pop stuff, it's hard for me because I feel like I can go and dig through deep on how they got there, and most of the time it wasn't the way we're trying to make it there. Because a lot of these people that made it there, especially back then, they've had a lot more resources or opportunities, or in a way, a lot of luck and opportunities, which we all need a little bit of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if I'll have to look through them because I don't know if they did it organically or independently to try to make it through. And I feel like most of us now are kind of stuck in this corner where we have to do it that way because I don't know, unless you really got connections in there, which I don't know any of us that really directly do. Or else we'd probably be blowing up and be there already. You know what I'm saying?
It's slowly getting there, but I think even to your point though, where the skill set kind of will stand out more, and yes, it kind of really all is. I agree with it's the all-in-one, man, because I mean I think just being a skilled producer and an artist will kind of just carry you further if your passion is if that's what your passion is, and I guess with the yes, kind of having to know everything, from the building the arrangement to having some audio knowledge base and somewhat
really.
well, I mean it's I think it's more than basics, honestly, but like
I struggle with that part.
yeah, and it's tough, it's fucking
a lot.
it's more than 10,000 hours, that's for sure.
Whoever said
but
that, you're a liar.
There was an example I was going to share because I remember I paid this dude, and he's my buddy Chance King. He fucking had this mentor, John Pignato. And that guy produces, like, that's what he does for a living. He produces for other artists that guaranteed everybody here probably has heard, probably a song that he fucking popular ass artist. I don't know any of them because the Chance, he wouldn't even tell Chance, and they're close and this and that. And I hired him for an hour to listen to a handful of songs of mine, and the way he was skimming through, and he's not familiar. He produces in the house world, and for a full-time, this is a full-time thing, and the way he was skimming through suggested tracks that I had sent to him. I mean, we had an hour. This guy was flying through them, like maybe listening to them for half a second, 2 kicks at best, clicking through songs, go to another song. All right, 2 kicks here, 2 kicks there, breakdown, gets the sounds. Like, okay, hey, where's your tracks? And he played them, and same thing, listened to him for a couple of seconds, kept moving on, and like, there's like, I could tell like in that listening, that his listening perception, what he was trying to capture was definitely along the lines of the things that you were talking about, like from a all-in-one package artist perspective. And that's where I kind of and this was right before I feel like I started to get pretty close to commercial-ish sounding stuff. And this was during COVID, and he gave me a bunch of pointers and said, okay, like, this is like kind of one, like, not as interesting. You these kind of sound like they're produced by, 10 different artists at the same, the same 10 sounding people. Like, kind of, you want to be anonymous in a way. Like, you want to stand, like, obviously the similar things that we usually hear. And then him addressing like the sonic quality differences, because there was a point where he went, my track, their track, my track, pro track, my track, pro track, like in back and forth in like a super fast progression. And I'm like, okay, I get it, So like, yes, absolutely. It's definitely, if you're not on that level of know-how.
And I speak on, just to be clear too, like I speak on, when I say artists, I mean like producers that are, at the very least aspiring to be an artist and to really be competing and making a career out of it. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're going to be doing. Right?
Depends where it goes, honestly,
I mean, at least I know for me, my goal is to build a career off of this and to eventually, like really make money off of this, and this would be my job.
But if that didn't happen, would you not be an artist anymore?
I mean, I'm still doing it, but I guess to me, I don't see a never doing it or ever quitting or anything. Like, I mean, I've gone the last 2 years kind of taking a break, and I'm still fucking at it.
Yeah, but
So, I don't think so.
well, because you were saying like the whole package. So like when you meant like
That's to build a career, though. Like, we're talking about really building a career, right?
yeah,
You have to. Like, it's just like entering any job site or anything. It doesn't have to be music. You if you want to compete in the market with all the other workers, you want to stand out. The only way to stand out is to go the extra mile.
yeah.
I don't know.
That's why we're doing this pod. This is the extra mile for us too, you know?
Fair enough. Yeah.
It's a hard conversation to have, but I think it's honest, at least from my side, because it's like at the end of the day, we're building careers. Like, we have to take it to that level, and we're competing with everybody in America. And America is very wealthy compared to other countries. We have a lot of people trying to do the American dream. How many motherfuckers do you think are doing the extra mile? A good amount too.
That's why I started doing mastering and producing plugins.
And that's why we got into this, because you were
Yeah.
telling us about the, what was it called again?
So just brief little shindig again. Just to touch on your thing, right? Like, yes, the music career. I mean, there's multiple ways to skin that cat. Like you guys doing this podcast, like you could play out shows, you could sell merch, you could sell fucking CDs to fucking diehard fans. Honestly, getting your shit on streams on Spotify is like fucking shooting fish in a barrel.
It's so true, bro.
And
But it's so true.
And for me, like, I mean, that's why I kind of dove in the engineering things. I wanted to make some extra dough doing mastering because I like doing it and I feel like I'm good at it. And like also being in the mastering studio, I'll even share an example. Like, look at Illusion and look at fucking Psychopunks. Like, they're producing plugins and VSTs for other artists to use.
Yeah.
There's a couple other tools that are like geared toward hard dance producers. In my recent journey, like I wanted to produce plugins that are geared for engineers, whether you're a producer or a mastering engineer, and like I kind of fell in love with workflow efficiency. I mean, because nowadays, I mean, it's
the hardest thing.
It can be. I mean, even as a producer, when you're like going through sample libraries, organizing folders, pulling up fucking
So much time lost sometimes, so much
it
creativity
can,
lost.
then on top of that, the time it takes to open up a project, to export a project, like that's why I kind of was like, hey, you know what? I kind of work in also live broadcast as well as like my day job, and like a lot of our thing is like workflow efficiency. And I think for me in the studio, like the less time that I have been allotted for my day to be in there, I'm like, okay, like I want to get fucking these X things done faster. So like I ended up getting a Stream Deck, and like I have buttons that pull up and program that I've programmed to like pull up plugins, pull up synths, open up file folders that samples are in. So I'm not clicking in 5 different things. Open up a vocal samples folder. Opening up Ableton, like it's button based versus like clicking around and figuring things out. And sure, like
It sounds like it's like a shortcut keyboard.
it's a
for your whole
shortcut
computer, right?
macro system. That's what it is. And so like, I know. Hard segue. We're going into this plugin talk.
I was geeking out with all the mastering. So we really haven't had anybody to talk about this stuff, but like that's the stuff that I get excited about too, because I've learned a lot, but I don't think I've talked to a lot of producers deep in depth about this shit. And on top of it, it now makes me realize like shit, I actually know what the fuck we're talking about now.
Yeah,
You know, like, I've
Give
actually
yourself
learned.
some credit. Yeah.
And it's important because that's why I think I may be so like pro on like, nah, learn your shit, because it's such a different experience when you actually know your shit and you're able to have these conversations. Because I've been in some rooms where I thought I knew shit, and then I feel like I'm just a fly in the wall, and at least I'm learning, but like I don't feel like I can contribute, and like that kind of sucks sometimes because I want to be able to vibe. I want to be able to like ask questions and be like, oh shit, let me learn that stuff, or let me use this. And I feel like I cheat myself a lot of the times. And then when imposter syndrome comes in, I'm like, well, yeah, you didn't do the work, bro. And I'm like, dang. And that's just something normal that happens because I feel like
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but like imposter syndrome is just it's almost like grief. You just learn how to deal with it, and it comes here and there, and you just learn how to work with it, you know. But it for me at least, because I have so much respect for artists or people that I've seen work it, like that's where I get in a hole where I'm like, damn, am I really doing enough, or am I fucking lying to myself? Like, and in order for me to pull that real, I guess, confidence, I have to know that I do know my shit, you know? So it's like a weird maybe mind trick in my own self, but that's where it really comes
No,
from,
that's
you know?
cool. Yeah, I dig it. Yeah. You gotta lift yourself up, man. You
Yeah.
know.
Well, at least now I know who to call if I have any questions, which I do because I've been stuck on some production. I told him the other day, and I'm like, "Fuck, man! Like, I don't know. I don't know why I'm stuck, and I'm stuck on some stupid like basic shit, like on a fucking kick track." And I think it has to do with what we were talking about because when I'm mastering my shit, everything sounds good except my kicks right now, and I feel like I'm squashing it, and it's just a mess. But it's back to the mixing. I need to go back in there and figure out where the fuck I'm fucking up because it's something so simple. But it's kind of nice to sometimes have second ears of somebody that understands and knows shit that I can trust and be like, hey, what the fuck's going on here, man? Like sometimes my own ears can get fucked up just by repetitively listening to the same shit over and over and not having an outlet outside to give me a new perspective. Have you ever been in there in those types of situations with your music?
In regards to
Like being stuck in a song and needing to outsource some help or an extra pair of ears to help.
Like just getting ear fatigue, pretty much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
essentially, yeah.
Yeah, I'll either come back to a track or it's a bad habit, but I don't actually send my tracks to a lot of people ask for opinions. I'm like, if it's done, it's done. I'm gonna be happy with it the way I'm gonna be happy with it, and like, yeah, because you'll get 5 different opinions from 5 different people.
That's what I've learned too. You have to learn to who you're sending your tracks to get opinions because I've fucked up before too, and I'm like sending them out, and then I'm like, oh, maybe I shouldn't have asked you. And it's nothing against them. It's just they're not really looking at the song the way that I'm trying to direct it to.
Here's the thing though, like for real, like I've fucking have worn myself to like an emotional stress, and like I've like wanted to give up on a lot of things, and I'm like beating myself up pretty hard when I've gotten certain feedback from other people. But this whole thing that we're doing, man, is to make ourselves happy. You know, so like if I'm fucking trying to get an opinion off of somebody else, it's gonna be for a good reason. You know, if it's like if I'm gonna do it for a label release, like I only care about that guy's fucking opinion. You know, I don't care about the other 5 producers' opinion. I really don't. And honestly, I've like kind of really worn myself down to a lot of negativity because of that. And like I've held myself back because of like certain opinions, and then like held myself to certain standards that are lower because of other people's opinions.
That's refreshing to hear, bro. I
Yeah.
appreciate you for saying that. No, well, that's super cool, bro. Well, I appreciate your producer and mastermind brain because I think I've been needing a little bit of that. I don't know if you've been feeling the same way, but it's nice to have friends that know their shit because for me, it's not anymore about like sending my tracks to people because it's like give me your opinion on like the overall sound. It's more of like, hey bro, I have this fucking issue. What are my ears not fucking doing here? Because it's like a technical thing more than like a does my song sound good? Do you love it? You
So
know?
I've been trying to get them to come down here more to hang out.
Yeah, and I guess you know it's a fair point to like, depending who you ask, it should be someone you trust if you're trying to if you're really trying to solve a problem instead of get like their opinion on the song. You know, there's that too.
But also, if you're gonna send it to like another producer, you should send it to a producer that makes music that you like.
Yes.
Because then they're gonna hear it with the ear that you like how their stuff sounds. But if you're sending it to someone that doesn't really, I don't know, like if they make different music and they don't really have an ear for it, like they're gonna.
The thing for me is that if you're a producer that doesn't make other music, right? Like let's say if it was one of you guys, and I come to you with my track, like even though you don't make the same type of music, I feel like you guys are the type of people that will put yourselves in my shoes when listening to my track and be like, oh, well, this is the direction. This is what he makes. This is what he does. Like, okay, he might be trying to take it here and give me advice through those eyes. But most people don't. They'll just look at through like their own eyes of like, oh, well, I want this or I hear this. And I feel like there are some people that don't make your shit that can give you good advice if they're the type of person that can do that type of like, I'm gonna put myself in your shoes in the direction you're trying to take this track, or hopefully even ask you questions like, hey, where are you trying to take this, so I can get a feel of how I should judge this song and then give you advice. And I feel like those are the best people to fucking ask advice from.
Sometimes I'll even say like, I don't know if this is like a creative choice, but like
I like that.
And then I'll say whatever.
Yeah.
Because like sometimes there's like a weird thing where I'm like, I don't know if that's what you want, but like if not, I wouldn't have that.
And honestly, but that's why I feel like I'll send my shit to you or somebody that at least understands the process of like, okay, I'm gonna review and give my opinion, but I'm not gonna give it my opinion from my house or my perspective of where I make music, because of course you're not making the music I'm making, you know. So it's super cool when you find people that can actually have that out open, I guess, mentality to really look at your track and be like, all right, what is he trying to make? Not what do I want to hear, what do I want to hear from him, but it's very hard to find people that can actually.
There's also a difference that with subjective listening and objective listening also.
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to ask like, hey, what do you think of this song, versus like, hey, do you notice any sonic qualities that need addressing? Like totally different approaches. I mean,
I'm usually on the latter when I send people music, because I already know as far as where my feel and where I want to take it. It's just the technical shit for me where I get stuck at, where I'm like, damn, like I know I'm good, but there's a certain level where maybe the second ears will help me figure out this other issue.
But most people are gonna give you both in a single response.
That's the problem. You know? That's why I think it's on us to communicate to them, be like, hey, I need you to look at this from this side, or I need you to like.
Yeah, I'll literally ask like, what's the exact thing I need? Like, hey, how does this kick sound like too weak, or like is it not hitting?
And that comes to like, then they're going to bring in their subjective opinion versus like, and then try to give you a.
But that's fine though, because everyone else is going to have their subjective opinion. So that I have one more other subjective opinion.
Yeah. And if that's what you're okay with, then yeah.
Like I'm playing the music for like the drunk people in the crowd, not for like an engineer.
Yeah. I think that's why I stopped sending people tracks, because I'm like, I don't want your fucking opinion. Seriously.
But dude, what if you like added like a meme right before the drop?
We'll be right back.
Oh, you would do it.
I think you guys make some great points though, and honestly, I hope you guys got a lot out of this, because these are more of the conversations that I'm so excited to have here, because we just get to learn and grow and just educate ourselves more about what we're doing and see different perspectives, you know? Like, I'll be thinking about this episode for the next couple of days.
I've definitely gotten some juicy nuggets from you right now, and I always get your 2 juicy nuggets, so that's right. Yep.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
I mean,
any new projects coming up? Anything that we can expect?
Oh my gosh. I mean, after, dude, I just shout out to Vega for just bringing me back to, I mean, I don't know. There's a few people that I really do appreciate. And it's not a much more than others kind of thing. It's just been people that have been really just recent experience in my life. Vega, dude, Marcor, Lucky Rabbit, like you guys are my fucking homies, man, and just keep me staying connected to this and keep me like in love with this genre. But like I'll talk about like my recent release that I did called Wreck It. And it comes from an early hardstyle track sampled that yes, that is one of the few tracks that I actually did sample, and that like I didn't record over because I love the original sample. It's from the Hard Heads, and I sampled the lead and I sampled the vocal from it, and it's a banger track, and it's a modern hard techno track. And I really, really, really like it. So that thing is out now. I still put it out in the Wild Call Records. The Wild Call Records doesn't really, it arbitrarily exists in the Matrix. So, but
you can find it in all the platforms.
You can find it on everywhere platforms, which is great. Between new tracks, I'm still always plugging away in the studio. I'm always trying to reach out to others and trying to get let me rephrase that. I'm still reaching out to others to seeing if they need mastering, because I still love doing that. And then alongside that, I'm still producing plugins under my new company, Sonic Control Studios, which I create plugins for your Stream Deck to control your professional hardware. So I have one out that controls the Trinov Nova. I have one that I'm finishing up right now that controls the entire UAD Apollo series of interfaces, all in a Stream Deck, so you don't have to break your encoder and you don't have to click around in software. I'm making one for the RME interfaces right now that's pretty much being wrapped up, which is the RME ADI2 series. I'm soon going to be trying to work on one for the Fireface and the UCX series. And then eventually I'll do stuff for the Lynx. The Lynx Audio series of the Lynx Audio Aurora series of hardware, and then the Apogee Symphony series of hardware, all over Stream Deck. I mean, this stuff is like amazing. The workflow efficiency is absolutely badass. You just press a few buttons and you're really in full control. No more software clicking around. And honestly, that helps me save a ton of time in the studio to where I'm not fiddling around with shit. So between the tracks, the mastering, the Sonic Control Studios, that is currently my life right now. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And if you want to see some videos, because I was going through your Instagram,
Yeah.
you have a couple of those showing some of this stuff.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's your
so,
Instagram so that way we can go find you and
So
follow
you can find me obviously everywhere on my music at the Buckness Official. In fact, if you search up the Buckness, I am the only one still yet after these 13 years of this project existing. Sonic Control Studios, there's only one of those too. I made sure of that, and I learned the hard way when I did the name J-Rod a long time ago. So yeah, right now we have one product out for that, but you can check out soniccontrolstudios.com. That is a real legit website. So I'm pretty stoked on how that thing is turning out. That also covers the mastering side of things. So you guys can really check out my portfolio, and I consistently do update my portfolio for the work that I've done on there. And yeah, let me help you help me. So yes.
Motherfuckers, the whole package. Man. I'm
Yes,
telling you.
I do it, man. If I go deaf, I'm screwed. If we go deaf, we're screwed, man.
Hey, oh yeah, protect your ears. By the way, I think
Yes.
I'm at that point where I need to buy some earphones now that I'm gonna be going back out to shows.
Yes, protect your ears, man. Do not walk around with tinnitus. You don't want to go to sleep with it. You need those frequencies.
That shit hurts.
My ears are
That shit starts.
Not great.
I had a scare last week because I had a little throb on my left one,
Oh boy.
and it was a whole fucking 24 hours and I listened to this shit. So please do take care of your ears.
Yes.
It's horrible when you're feeling the pain.
Yeah.
But last thing, because I know we got to get you out of here, but I've been asking everybody some kind of questions like this.
Sure.
The Buckness, where did the name come from?
Oh my
What
goodness.
got you into this scene? And yeah, take it away.
So the Buckness, honestly, the name is borrowed. I'll give it back to you one day. It originally came from crumping, which I don't even think crumping is even a thing for like the past 15 years.
Are you talking about the
Crumping dancing, yes.
Oh my god,
Yes.
I grew up with that shit.
Yeah, did you? Wow, okay.
I grew up with steps and everything too,
That's
bro.
crazy. Wow. So anyhow, we used to always use the word buck as an adjective, like something's buck as fuck. And that really is kind of like the main sentence we used. That there's really no other thing to describe as being buck. It's just an assertive, aggressive adjective that that kind of just
like it sounds.
it explains itself in a way. And so I turned it into a noun, and I said, hey, there's the word buck in it. Someone make me a logo. And he made a deer logo, and I was like, hey, this is great. This is awesome. I will take it. And it kind of went with it because there was no other artist with that name in existence. And I was J-Rod for a number of years. And like, if you search up J-Rod everywhere, you'll get a bunch of rappers from the South. So that name had to go real quick. And yep. Yeah. Yeah. Well.
Yeah. Anyways.
That's pretty cool though, the Buckness. See, it's so cool when you hear somebody's story or how they name themselves when it's like a story, because it's like, oh, they got some characters.
Yeah, and like being the only hard dance producer, I mean, at the time, DJs. Well, I guess I was producing on Oahu at the time. I was the more aggressive-ish DJ. You know, I'd fucking pound out all over the dubstep DJs, and like the hardstyle was just like the more aggressive thing, and I was the only one doing it, so I was kind of known as the Buckness at the time, and just people started calling me that, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna roll with it. Let's do it, and it stuck, and then I took it and turned it into a brand. So yeah, it worked. It worked out, man. It all rolled itself out, dude. People, in fact, people started making shirts that said buck as fuck on Oahu for a couple of years, and they didn't give me a single fucking one, those fuckers.
Oh, no,
What the fuck?
How are they not going to at least
Yeah.
give you a shirt?
I know you hear me, Jonathan Fine. Yeah.
Hey,
Jonathan.
Give us his at.
Huh?
Give us his at.
At Jonathan Fine on Instagram.
Everybody comment him, tag him in this.
Report him.
Him and Rex Rob, you guys fucking hear me, but I love you guys.
You guys are reported.
Yeah, they've supported me since day one, but never gave me a shirt. It's okay. We're all broken, Hawaii.
Right.
Nonetheless, that was kind of where it came from, and I just it's stuck ever since. And so and I think the reason why I stuck with it also is because nobody else has come up with anything along the name, and so I'm like, dude, this is working cool.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
With the name like the Buckness.
I know. Well, I don't know. Ask the Crumpin guys.
Fair.
Yeah.
No, well, thank you for, taking time to come over here. We had a cool stuff that we'll show you guys later on from last night after your set.
Cool.
Getting to know you fully like this has been a fucking treat, bro. Getting all the nuggets from you too is amazing. You got an amazing brain. I'm super looking forward to following your journey as well and just seeing what else you're teaching the world and plugins that you're making.
Dude, I'm gonna definitely pick your brain offline and some deeper audio stuff that may not be that might fly over people's heads in this video. But thank you for the support, man. Thanks for asking me to be here, and just I love what you're doing. Honestly, I really like what you guys are doing and bringing artists and stuff like that in here, man. And
it helps out this team, man.
Yeah. Yep, and especially Angel backstage rocking the thing, dude. So fucking yeah.
Seen her last night. She was a natural.
I know. We were saying she might get a camera soon.
Yes, we're getting her a camera soon, guys. So be ready.
Producer cam, yeah.
So she has to wear low cut shirts too for
Stop.
Oh my
Stop.
goodness.
I'm a
for the
mother.
thumbnails.
But dude, no, Fresno has something special out here. So you guys keep rocking, doing your thing, man. And love you guys. Thanks so much.
I'm going to see you back right here, my brother.
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Alrighty, you guys. This has been another episode. I love you guys. Please make sure to like, follow, subscribe. Please comment. It helps out our algorithm. A lot of you guys are being very supportive, so we thank you guys so much. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
And if you're not being supportive, don't ask anybody.
All right, bye.